All right, guys, how's it going? So, you may have seen chatter today, or over the last 24 hours actually, suggesting that Liverpool have offered Trent Alexander-Arnold a 6-year deal. That may be true, but the source of those claims is Team Talk. And we're going to look at the exclusive that they have published. Now, I think this was published yesterday. I didn't get round to going through it with you. Team Talk is a very big commercial website, if you like, which dates right back to the early days. It was around way before all the other garbage today, to be honest with you. There used to be a bit of rivalry between Team Talk and Cop Talk back in the day, late 90s, early 2000, maybe something like that. Some of you may recall the Liverpool, the guy that updated the Liverpool stuff was called Brian Bentley. Do you remember? And it was more banter than anything. But yeah, Team Talk is not a platform or outlet that I would personally pay attention to. You obviously make your own calls, but nevertheless, we're going to look at what they're saying. Just to see if you've, maybe heard this kind of thing. Because what happens is you'll get supporters who'll read claims like this, and then you'll see them go on social media, especially if they've got a large following, and then they make them claims, but they don't say where they got them from. And before you know it, people have reposted it, retweeted it, whatever you want to call it, and it's all over the place. And that's why it's important to know where these things are coming from. Now, it says here, exclusive. Liverpool confident Alexander-Arnold will sign bumper new deal to thwart Real Madrid and Man City. I'm not going to read the entire article to you, but let's look at some key points. Liverpool are ready to offer Trent Alexander-Arnold a lucrative new contract to stop him from leaving for either Real Madrid or Manchester City on a free transfer next summer. Team Talk can reveal. Waffle. Speculation around the right back is rife due to the level of interest in his services. I haven't seen any credible interest in his services as yet. Of course, there's going to be a lot of clubs that would be interested in Trent Alexander-Arnold on a free, but none of them are being played out yet. Would you agree with me? I mean, I'm not seeing any credible, like journalists saying Bayern Munich want Trent Alexander-Arnold, PSG want Trent, Real Madrid. I'm not seeing that anywhere yet. And that's probably a good sign in terms of how contract talks are progressing behind the scenes. My personal opinion, which I've said for quite some time, was that the longer it goes on into the year, the more squeaky bum you get. The clique of LFC journalists want you to believe that Real Madrid have wanted him for years, and this is going to be mentioned in this article as well. But there's been nothing here in Spain saying that Real Madrid have any interest in him when there was or is a transfer fee to pay for him. Now, on a free transfer, completely, different situation, right? So you would imagine that they would have a strong interest in him. But I see a lot of these cliquey journalists, the LFC clique of journalists, you know who they are. It's not Ornstein, it's not Joyce, you know what I mean? Like the credible ones. But they always, whenever there's an article about Arnold, they always, Arnold, Alexander-Arnold, all right, Arnold, they always bolt on that, the much wanted, by Real Madrid defender and all that. And there's nothing to suggest that's the case at all. On a free, maybe. And I do think, as I've said before, I think as the month progresses, as October progresses, late October, early November, you will see reports come from Spain about the interest. Because Liverpool are going to play Real Madrid, right? So Real Madrid are known for latching on and exploiting that and trying to unsettle. So I guarantee you that when we're about to play them, it will be all over the place and it'll originate from Spain. I did a newsletter. I think it was my last one. The link is in the video description to join my newsletter if you want. And I explained about if you start to see reports coming from the UK, what that might mean and who might be behind them, and if it comes from Spain, etc., etc. So I've gone into this multiple times with you guys about the situation. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Sources have now provided Team Talk with an exclusive update on his situation. They haven't, guys. I don't believe that for 1 minute. So they say anyway, a new deal is set to be offered. And despite the interest of Real Madrid and English rivals Man City, there is a calm confidence at Anfield that the 25-year-old will stay. I think they're dropping the Man City thing in there because it's a new claim, and I think that Liverpool fans who are Man City, the ones that don't really, pay attention to things like we do, they will read that and think that Man City want him. Man City, I'm sure, would want Trent if he was available on a free transfer, but I don't think there's any suggestions of that happening at the moment. Okay, the contract that will be offered will be a huge bump in pay, and will bring him in line with Salah, the club's top earner. Once Salah leaves the club, which is possible in the summer of 2025, the new contract for the England international would make him the highest paid player at the club. The hope is also that he signs until 2030 on a new 6-year deal. Now, they go on to say Madrid holds serious interest and want to add him to the list of elite stars currently wearing the famous white jersey. I haven't seen this serious interest. I've banged on about this for ages. I'm in Spain. I monitor all the stuff here for you guys, right? If this was serious interest, it would be on the pages of the Madrid aligned, publications on an ongoing basis. But I will stress, I do think you will see those claims come out later in the month, early November, like I said, if he does, we get closer to January when he can sign a contract on, a pre-contract on the 1st of January, I think then you may see that. But this serious interest, I'm yet to see it. It talks about his great relationship with Jude Bellingham. And Madrid sources say this will be used by the club in potential negotiations. So Team Talk want you to believe that Liverpool sources have told them this, and Real Madrid sources are also telling them about this as well. Do you believe that? You're not that gullible, are you? Wait, you're not. If you're a regular on my channel, you know this is absolute nonsense. Sources have informed Team Talk that Alexander Arnold is, quote, loved by Madrid. And they have made it clear that they have been looking to bring him to the Bernabeu for several years. The Bernabeu, for several years. Yeah, they've been trying for several years. They've been looking to do it for several years. Never made a single offer, though. As things stand, he's able to hold talks with foreign clubs in January of a pre-contract, but Liverpool are working hard to prevent any kind of damaging exit. Should Madrid miss out, they're giving the disclaimer here. The Spanish press have looked at, alternatives. Blah, 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 really. I don't think there's any point continuing with this. Anyway, so we don't need to go on that any further. The reason I'm going over that with you, because you might say, well, if you don't believe it, what? Because people are talking about a 6-year contract. Like all of a sudden, like overnight, people that have been told that he's been offered a 6-year deal. Well, I can assure you that's originating from that, right? And what's the other one? The Manchester City interest, just to mention to you and say, look, if you hear that Man City are trying to sign, don't worry, it's come from Team Talk. Do you know what I mean? If it had come from Paul Joyce, I'd be saying your arsehole should be going like that, So I don't mean your wife either. Anyway, so that's what I'll leave it at. I'm going to leave it as that, I think, guys. I just wanted to touch on the origin of that. It doesn't mean that a 6-year contract wouldn't be offered or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he signs a 6-year contract and it's announced 2 months from now, it doesn't mean that they were right. I just don't believe these people, guys. I don't. And I don't know. I've been around these parts a long time. And like I say, I go back to the late 1990s with the website and Team Talk and everything, and know about the ownership and know about how they operate. Footy Mad, another one that tried to rival Team Talk. I know how they operate. And, I've been within some of these organisations, these big organisations, when they've tried to partner with Cop Talk over the years, and they've tried to have me work for them, when they've tried to buy Cop Talk, over the years. And you meet the people responsible, that's behind all this, and they tell you, they've openly sat there with me and live. I've got such good knowledge about this, guys. One of the big football hubs in the UK back in the day was owned by this huge magazine publication company in the UK that was responsible for hundreds of titles that you would see. If you went to WHSmith, the majority of the magazines came from this publication, and they had a football hub, you know what I mean? And I used to go and, meet these people, and they would look after me and put me up in posh hotels and just try to get Cop Talk on side. They always wanted Cop Talk to be the cornerstone of their network, when they were trying to recruit other websites. And I'll never forget, one of the times, like they had this website and this magazine that was all to do with, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to even say this, but black music, hip hop, rap music, that kind of thing. And I remember him laughing, introducing me to the people that ran the magazine. Oh, these are the two lads. They were two white lads, but they went, the people that buy the magazine, they think they're, black musicians and this, but they're not really. Just complete nonsense and lies. And these are the same people that are often behind these websites that want to mislead you. I just try my best to warn you sometimes. Sometimes you just got to take my word for it. You know what I mean? So if you're new to my channel, you don't have to take anything I say. But people that have been with me since the 90s, they do know that I've got a bit of knowledge about who's behind some of these things. And in particular, a lot of these X accounts that appear to be independent X accounts. When I say independent, I mean independent of each other. But I know there's a few that are working together, but they look like individual platforms, and they're not. Right, so sometimes when I say, look, just DKB, Dunk knows best, just go with me, right? Do you know what I mean? I'd love to say a lot more about some of these people and things, but you've got to be careful as well. So anyway, we're sidetracking a little bit. I wouldn't trust Team Talk with anything they say, to be honest with you. And I'm not suggesting that for 1 minute that they operate in a wrong way, or they've ever done anything wrong, or whatever. We're allowed opinions on each outlet, each publication, each journalist. And my personal opinion is that I wouldn't believe anything Team Talk ever published. But you should always form your own opinions, as I encourage you. So if you're seeing reports of a 6-year contract being offered, well, not reports, but if you're seeing people making these claims on podcasts, on YouTube channels, on Liverpool blogs and fan sites or whatever, or if you're seeing claims that Man City are interested in Trent, I can assure you that's where it's originating from. And we will continue to monitor it, guys. We'll continue to monitor it. I'm as cool as a cucumber about the situation, to be honest with you. No concerns on that front. I feel like we might hear something this week. I don't think it'll be published, but I feel like I heard a little whisper yesterday about talks to do with Trent, his representatives, and Liverpool Football Club taking place this week, stepping up a gear this week. But I don't have enough to go on that to tell you this is what's happening, but this is just something that was mentioned to me. I think it was yesterday. All right. So what we can take is that behind the scenes, things are happening, even though you're not seeing things publicly. But I still have the feeling that Trent's representation are quite happy for this to drag out as long as possible to see who does come in, as they approach January. I think Real Madrid will express an interest, but I don't believe this. They've wanted him for years. They would have broke the bank to sign him and all that. I think it's more wishful thinking on the Trent Alexander-Arnold camp, his representation. And if Real Madrid do step in later in the year, then of course, that does give a decision for him to for something for him to consider. If he hasn't committed to Liverpool, he can say, oh, maybe I do want to go out there. I've got to be honest with you, I'm very tired of hearing about this one. Really am. I do feel that there's a game being played out a little bit. But it's football, right? And we've got to deal with it. But don't be concerned as we approach the Real Madrid game if nothing has been, extended or whatever, and you start to see some real big reporting, because Real Madrid are notorious for that. When they come up against, European rivals and things. All right, guys, I'm not too sure I've done a good video here. I'm not sure if I've done a good job. Please let me know if I fucked it up or whatever. But I'll just try my best. All right, so listen, I'm going to be live on here at 2 o'clock UK today, and I'll do a live watch along this evening. All right, if you want to come along and watch the match with me. I wouldn't be too concerned about the Trent stuff at the moment, and I'll keep you posted with anything I see. All right, guys, take it easy. If you appreciate this video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment if you've got an opinion on it. I'm sure you're like me. You're probably like, I'm sick of talking about it, don't I? Understand that if you don't comment. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks button. Much appreciated. Read the video description, get on the newsletter, get in the chat room, follow me on social media, etc., etc., etc. All right, guys, take it easy. Hopefully see you at 2 o'clock or this evening.